Hey guys, Artosis here, bringing you some more of the MoonLight Pro League. Here we have Spire in the top left, going against Ruin in that bottom right. Right now, in this 3 vs 3 team battle, we are tied up 2-2. Of course, the teams once again are Scan, Motive, and Spire going up against Barracks, Ruin, and HM. So we have a Zerg versus Protoss here with Spire versus Ruin. I would definitely say I would favor Ruin a bit here. I think Ruin is one of the more exciting new Protoss players out there. So yeah, definitely, excuse me, favoring him a little bit here on Allegro. But to be fair, one of the reasons we're seeing this map a little bit less is Protoss players are not liking it that much in Protoss versus Zerg. A lot of them have it said that this is actually an incredibly hard map to stop Hydralisk pressure on. I guess if you take a look at how wide open this third base location is, this is very hard to hold, right? You have a lot of surface area Hydras can come in here and a lot here, right? So it's like, okay, the choke is very holdable. The third base, which is a mineral base, is very tough to hold. Of course, you do have those high ground bases, which you could end up taking possibly as your third, but they're kind of far away and the ramp is a little bit wide, so definitely a little bit attackable as well. You know, very hard to, excuse me, make maps that are going to fit just perfectly in every single matchup. So we'll see if maybe Spire can go ahead and abuse that a little bit. One thing to mention, this is a Forge Fast expand with double probes coming out for that scouting, and of course, as he finds Zerg and sees that it is in fact not a hatchery first, this probe gonna go ahead, turn around. No real way for him to do any sort of damage with a cannon rush or anything. Meanwhile, Spire with some very nice micro on top of that probe, pushing that back very, very heavily. The spawning pool about to finish, but of course with the Forge first, cross spawn, you're not really gonna find any damage with Zerglings. We'll see how many actually even get made. Yeah, it's just gonna be 2 coming out of here for Spire. In after that, going directly into drones. Again, not a big surprise at all. One thing that is a little bit of a surprise, though, is how much damage this probe is taking. Look at this. Spire staying right on top of it. Oh, my God. One more hit, and this probe will end up falling. Oh, my God. It's kind of crazy because, you know, the pathing of these workers, everyone has played the game so much at this point, you kind of know how something's going to path away, so you have to be really careful because manually controlling, if you do it just right, you can kind of gain ground on something that's just clicked. So some good clicking there from Ruin. Spire pulls back, realizing he's not going to catch this probe, so the probe will stay alive for now. In the meantime, we have that cannon just about to finish, the gateway going up. Certainly the gas going to be coming up next for Ruin. Over on Spire's side of the map, looks like he's going to be taking his third base location here. And that is going to be a gas base up a ramp. Doesn't want to take anything too wide open. You know, that can be a little bit hard to hold on against Protoss. Just the same way, right, that it can be a little bit hard for Protoss to hold on against Zerg. It's very hard to do a great SimCity location like this, right? If you have the hatchery there, you don't have any natural terrain to help block it in. Whereas somewhere like here, it's like, oh, okay, suddenly we have, like, these minerals are kind of down to the side. This is, like, a smaller choke here, so you could do something like another hatchery sunken behind. Maybe you put an evolution chamber here, and then you can have a sunk in the mineral line, that type of thing, right? So this is a much more defendable location than something super, super wide open like that. So the layer is on the way. Looks all very standard here from Spire. We're not looking at any big surprises or anything like that. The first Zealots are starting to pop out now. Looks like this one's going to go ahead for a little bit of a scout. Stargate coming. No second gas as of yet for Ruin. Does lure that one Zergling back and gets it killed off. Looks like this scouting one will get picked off there as well. Not that many Zerglings out on the map right now. Looks like we just have 6 or 7 total. And Zergling speed is on the way. So a lot of times, if you're going to end up seeing Mutalisks, you do see that Zergling speed. That's not to say that you can't go, like, for the standard 4 Scourge to push back Corsairs into Hydras instead of Zergling speed, but just throwing it out there that this game is looking to me like it could end up being one where it does go into Mutalisk play. And Spire certainly, I mean, his original ID, we see he is using the ID Sol here, but his original ID is Spire, right, from the Bai clan, which shows us, yeah, he does like his Mutalisks quite a bit, so would not be surprised if he does lean towards that. In the meantime, very standard stuff going on for Ruin. Has that Citadel coming up. The Corsair almost done right now. That +1 ground attacks coming as well. And some more gates are going to be added. Probably not that many right now, but even if you just pop out a few and start pumping out those Zealots, you can put on some heavy Zealot pressure a little bit after the Corsairs get pushed back from those Scourge. So this is what we're kind of looking at. There is that second hatchery kind of setting up, so this is a smaller choke over here. Another hatchery here as well. So 5 hatches already, and that's going to be a Hydralisk den. There it is. Kind of an interesting place to put it. That's almost like a hidden Hydralisk den. A lot of times you'll see it at the natural. Yeah, not sure why he's wanting to put it there. He may want to just send some faulty information one way or the other. Now the Corsairs going up across the map. 1 Overlord has been picked off thus far. We have those 4 Scourge coming out, which again, very, very standard stuff to push back the Corsairs. And after those Scourge out, the Corsairs do have to go home and stay home for a little bit. And the only intel you're going to get from there is going to be the Zealots. You can see that already Ruin is sending Zealots out to try to gain that additional information. Now look, here come the Scourge. He does turn the Corsair in time. This Corsair ends up getting an Overlord, but more Scourge pop from here as well. So Spire will chase that back. The Scourge should not end up catching this Corsair. This one should make it all the way back home, no problem. In the meantime, +1 not done, legs not done, and the Zerglings actually getting on top of these Zealots a little bit. The speed upgrade helping them a bit. Some damage already dealt to these Zealots. It's like all the Corsairs do end up making it without any hits. And now we do have Hydras popping out. So this was not one of those Mutalisks plays that I was kind of predicting there before. Instead, going right into 5 hatchery Hydralisk. And in fact, it's not just 5 hatchery Hydralisk. I believe what we're seeing here is specifically a 3-base Hydra all-in. And the way that you can tell that is that we actually don't have an evolution chamber. So it's not like he's building for the future. Instead, we're getting quick range right now. We're getting Overlord speed so that Dark Templars are not going to be a problem. And normally what you're doing with a build like this is trying to kill your opponent before they have Psystorm ready, or before they have enough Psystorms ready. And you can see with the amount of Hydras that are already out there, Ruin is starting to throw down a few more cannons. Psystorm is on the way, but it is a long upgrade, and don't forget you need those High Templars sitting there, gaining mana as well. But here Spire is just pumping out of these 5 hatcheries a lot of Hydras. So I think we are going to see a very timely attack coming up. He's trying to push these Zealots back a little bit more. I feel like Ruin is keeping control of the game reasonably well. The Zealots are kind of forcing the Hydras to be a little bit careful about just running across the map right now. But here the Hydras come. Now let's see what the Zealots do. Like, you can bring the Zealots for a little flank onto the cannons, or you can try a counterattack. It looks like he wants to do a counterattack. Oh, yeah, of course, there's the third thing where you try to stop reinforcements. Catching little reinforcing groups would be amazing. Does come up here, but this is the full group of Hydras, so Ruin does want to turn and run. In the meantime, the 5 Corsairs are going to find a little bit of damage there, a little bit of harassment on some of these Overlords, even though they have that speed upgrade. And I got to tell you, I'm kind of liking this right now for Ruin. I think he's played this really nicely. Like, he stalled everything out just enough. And here come the Storms. This is not what Spire was looking for here. Absolutely not at all. That first attack taking a ton of damage. A lot of drones being made. And the Zealots run in. Oh my god, this is huge right now from Ruin. I think Ruin has really outdone Spire. Sorry for my coughs. A little bit of cold right now. But getting on top of these drones. The Hydras having to come back. Even some Overlords being picked off. And look at this, even a DT going to try to slip up and get some kills here at that 3rd base location as well. Corsairs coming in, trying to push back the Overlords. That one's not going to end up working. But even the Spire going to get picked off. Ruin really dominating this game. You know, Spire went for something that is very strong, but I think Ruin, with his awareness between the Corsairs and the Zealots, he kind of recognize what was happening. That might be, in fact, why he hid the Hydralisk Den, is he didn't want it to seem like it was coming out very quickly. But he certainly was read like a book here from Ruin, who kind of an anticlimactic game, I would say, but this is a dominating position. Look at this. Yeah, good drone count, but 69 out of 53, so a pretty big supply block, and then like 40 more supply for Ruin already, which includes a lot of High Templars in there. He's got a beautiful gateway count. Just a magnificently played game, and even with the Robo as well as Dragoon range coming out, Ruin is looking towards a very strong continuation into a longer macro game if Spire can even live through this attack. Now, the Zealots going up, trying to get on top of those Hydras. The Hydras try to dance away. They're going to come up and try to pick off some High Templars here, and they do get a decent volley off there. But are they going to be able to do enough? I don't think so. Look at this. As they come up to try to help, well, he loses some, but GG is called. Ruin going to take it.